30 million. I just want you to sit with that number for a second. 30 million vehicles.
It's a huge number.
That's the milestone that Changan Automobile just hit. And to put that in perspective, I mean, that's not just a good year for a car company.
No, not at all. When you hit 30 million, you're not a startup anymore, figuring out software bugs or how to align a door panel. You are an industrial titan.
Exactly. And that scale, that mastery of the supply chain is exactly where we're starting today. Because we're not just looking at a car, we are analyzing a major strategic pivot. We're diving deep into the Deepal S05. It's a compact SUV from Changan, but honestly, calling it just a compact SUV feels like it's missing the point entirely.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
The S05 is the hardware. Yeah, but the strategy running the background, that's the real story here.
Yeah.
We are watching a domestic Chinese giant trying to become a genuine global challenger.
And to figure this all out, we've pulled together a pretty serious stack of sources. We've got technical manuals, we have strategic analysis reports, press releases from the Bangkok Motor Show, and this is my favorite part, a hands-on winter test report from the Italian Alps.
Which is so crucial. It's one thing to make a car look good in a render or, on a spinning platform in a showroom. It is a completely different challenge to make it actually perform on ice at the foot of Mont Blanc.
So here's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack these reports, explain what the Deepal S05 actually is, how the tech works, and most importantly, why Changan's whole strategy matters to you.
It's a fascinating look at how the entire auto world is being reordered. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with geography. We mentioned this shift, right? From local to global. And normally when we talk about Chinese EVs, you just assume they're built somewhere like Shenzhen and then put on a giant boat.
Right. But the sources are really clear. This is a major deviation.
How so?
The Deepal S05 is the very first model coming out of their brand new facility in Rayong, Thailand. And we need to be clear. This is not some screwdriver plant where they just, assemble pre-made kits to get around a tariff.
The investment numbers definitely suggest something more permanent. I think the report cited 1.9 billion yuan. That's serious.
It is. This is a full-scale manufacturing hub. They're calling it the In Thailand for Thailand initiative, which, okay, great marketing slogan.
Sure.
But the strategy docs tell a bigger story. This plant is their beachhead for the entire right-hand drive world.
Right-hand drive. So you're talking about the UK, Australia, South Africa, Japan.
Exactly. A huge chunk of the market that often gets treated like an afterthought. And it also doubles as their export base for Europe. By localizing the supply chain in Thailand, they're navigating all those complex trade tariffs. But maybe more importantly,
Go on.
they're building what the analysts in one report call a trust dividend.
I love that phrase. Break that down for us. What's a trust dividend?
Well, just imagine you're a buyer in, say, Australia. You see a new brand pop up. Your first thought is, okay, will this company even exist in 5 years? Can I get parts for it?
Right. Is there a mechanic who knows how to fix this thing?
Exactly. But when you see a company sinking billions into local infrastructure and they've already built 30 million cars globally, that fear starts to fade. You realize this isn't just some tech project. It's a product of mature industrial scale.
So you're buying into an established system. Okay, that sets the stage. Now let's get to the car itself. I'm looking at the design breakdown, and they use this term, aesthetic engineering. And usually that sounds like marketing fluff to me, but the specs suggest there's some real math behind all those curves.
It's definitely a blend of form and physics. The big number here is the drag coefficient, 0.25 CD.
Okay, for those of us who aren't aerodynamicists, is 0.25 good?
It's exceptional.
Yeah.
Especially for an SUV, which is basically a brick trying to move through the air.
Yeah.
Getting a brick down to 0.25 is, that's getting into sports car territory.
And why does that matter to the average driver? Is it just about wind noise?
It's really about efficiency. With a gas car, bad aerodynamics means you burn a bit more fuel. With an electric car, air resistance is the absolute enemy of your range.
Yeah.
At highway speeds, most of your battery is just being used to push air out of the way. So a lower number means more miles or kilometers per charge. Simple as that.
So that interstellar wing design isn't just for looks?
Not at all. And if you look at the other details, the frameless doors, the hidden electric handles, those aren't just style choices. They smooth out the turbulence along the car's body, and turbulence creates drag.
And drag kills range. Got it. Speaking of turbulence, that usually means noise. One of the reports really focused on NVH noise, vibration, and harshness. They use the word serene.
They did, and car reviewers love that word. But the data actually backs it up here. They measured the interior noise at just 62 decibels while going 100 kilometers per hour.
62 decibels. What does that sound like?
That's like a quiet conversation in your living room.
Yep.
Or maybe the hum of a dishwasher in the next room. Now, imagine that level of quiet while you're on the highway.
Okay, that's impressive. How are they doing that?
It's structural. The tech manual points to things like 5 millimeter thick glass and over 40 different specialized soundproofing parts packed into the chassis. This is where that massive manufacturing scale comes in. You usually only find that level of sound deadening in, German luxury cars that cost twice as much.
So they're bringing that luxury tier isolation down to a much more accessible price point. Okay, let's open the door. The smart cockpit. I saw this feature called the sunflower screen.
Huh, yeah.
Please tell me it doesn't actually look like a flower.
It does not, thankfully, but it sort of mimics the behavior. It's a huge 15.4-inch 2.5K screen. The sunflower part comes from the fact that it physically rotates.
Wait, the whole screen moves?
Yep, it can pivot 15 degrees left to right. So if you're driving, it turns to face you for navigation.
Yeah.
If you're parked and your passenger wants to pick a song, it pivots to face them.
That's a really simple, clever idea. But my worry with these huge screens is always lag. You tap an icon and you wait. That just makes the whole car feel cheap.
That's a totally valid concern. Lag kills the premium feel. But this is running on the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8155 chip.
Ah, the 8155. That's become the standard, hasn't it?
It's the gold standard for automotive systems right now, yeah. It just means the whole interface is fluid. It swipes like an iPad. No stutter.
Okay, good. And speaking of electronics, I want to talk about V2L, vehicle to load. I think it's one of those features that sounds kind of niche until you actually need it.
Oh, for sure. This is where the car stops being just transportation and becomes a lifestyle hub. The S05 has a V2L output of 6 kilowatts.
6 kilowatts is a lot. Most outlets in your house can't even do that.
Exactly. Think about it in a camping scenario. You could run an electric grill, a coffee machine, and a projector for an outdoor movie night, all at the same time, straight from the car.
That plays right into that eco-explorer vibe they're pushing. You drive out to the middle of nowhere, pop the frunk. Does it have a frunk?
The electric version does, and it's a big one. 152 liters.
Wow, that's huge. That's not just for a charging cable, that's actual luggage space.
It is. So you can put your muddy gear up front, keep the cabin clean, plug in your projector, and then use the external speakers to have a movie night in the forest.
It's a great image. But, and there's always a but, with EVs, to get to that forest, you need range. And range anxiety is still the biggest hurdle for most people.
Right. And this is probably the most critical part of their whole strategy. They know charging isn't perfect everywhere. So they aren't forcing everyone down one path. They offer the BEV and the REV.
Let's break those down. BEV is the simple one, battery electric vehicle.
Yep. Pure electric. You plug it in, you drive. The BEV version has a battery between 56 and 68 kilowatt hours, which gets you up to about 485 kilometers of range.
Which is plenty for city driving, commuting.
For sure. But for the person who wants to take that long road trip or live somewhere with few chargers, they have the REV, the range extended electric vehicle.
And I think REVs are often misunderstood. People hear gas engine and think it's just another hybrid. Can we explain the difference simply?
It's a vital difference. In a traditional hybrid, the gas engine can physically connect to the wheels and drive the car.
Okay.
In a REEV, the gas engine is never connected to the wheels. Never. The wheels are always, 100% of the time, turned by the electric motor.
So you always get that instant torque, that smooth EV acceleration.
Always. The 1.5-liter gas engine is just a generator. Its only job is to create electricity to charge the battery when it gets low. It's basically your own personal power plant on wheels.
That's the perfect way to put it.
And the result is you get around 170 kilometers of pure electric driving for your daily stuff. But then you have a total combined range of over 1,000 kilometers for long trips. No more panic.
That really is the perfect bridge technology. You get the EV lifestyle day to day without having to change your entire vacation plan.
It just removes that psychological barrier for so many people.
Okay, speaking of difficult conditions, let's move from the spec sheet to the real world. That test report from Courmayeur, Italy.
Yeah, right at the foot of Mont Blanc. A gorgeous but very, very unforgiving place to test a car in winter.
And they brought in an expert, Deborah Compagnoni.
The Olympic ski champion.
Yeah.
She knows a thing or two about grip on snow. And they put her in the all-wheel drive version on an ice track.
Before we get to her reaction, what are the specs on that AWD version? It sounds kind of like a sleeper.
It really is. Dual motors, one front, one rear. Together they make 435 horsepower, and it does 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 5.5 seconds.
It's a proper sports car speed. But a lot of power on ice is usually a recipe for disaster. How did it handle all that torque?
This is where EVs have such a huge advantage. The report talks about the torque vectoring. Because the motors are electric, the car's computer can adjust the power to each wheel in milliseconds. There's no lag like you'd have with a gas engine.
So it catches the slip before you even feel it happening.
Instantly. They tested it in snow mode, which calms everything down. But the most impressive part was when the testers turned the ESP, the stability control, completely off.
They turned off the safety net on ice. That sounds brave.
They did. And the report said the car was still incredibly controllable. Because of the 50.50 weight distribution from that battery pack sitting low on the floor, it's just naturally balanced. Compagnoni was apparently really surprised by the traction. It proves it's not just a gadget on wheels. The fundamental engineering is solid.
That's what you want to hear. It's easy to sell a big screen. It's much harder to build a car that keeps you safe on a mountain. Now, zooming out a bit, the S05 isn't their only play, right? The Bangkok Motor Show report mentioned a whole ecosystem.
It's a full lineup. They showed off the Deepal K50, which they're calling the world's first REEV pickup truck.
A range-extended pickup. That makes so much sense. You get the electric torque for towing, but you don't destroy your range because you have the generator.
Exactly. It's the perfect use case for that technology. And then on the other end, they had the Deepal E07, and I saw something about a drone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an outdoor explorer pack that comes with drone that pairs with the car. So it can automatically launch and follow you, getting cool footage of your drive.
It sounds a little gimmicky, but I can absolutely see the appeal for the Instagram crowd.
It shows they know who they're targeting. And, just to show off, they even had a concept flying car on display.
Of course they did. Okay, let's bring it back to Earth. The price. With all this tech, the fancy screen, the REEV system, the performance, this has to cost a fortune.
Well, this is where the made in Thailand strategy and that massive scale comes back. In Europe, they're looking at a starting price around 37,000 euros. In Thailand, it's around 800,000 bands.
That is incredibly competitive. It puts it right up against the big names like BYD and Tesla and undercuts a lot of the legacy European brands.
It does. But they know price isn't the only concern. The biggest fear is still reliability, especially the battery.
Right, the what-if scenario.
So Changan is tackling that directly with something called Deepal Premium Care. They're offering an 8-year or 160,000-kilometer warranty on the battery.
8 years? That's a long time.
It's a huge statement of confidence. They're basically saying, look, we've built 30 million cars. We know what we're doing. We stand behind this tech. It completely removes the risk for the first and probably even the second owner of the car.
So if we try to pull all of this together, we started with a massive number 30 million. We've talked about a factory in Thailand, a winter test in the Alps, and a spec sheet that's just packed with tech. What's the final takeaway?
I think it means the market has just fundamentally changed. The Deepal S05 is a declaration of intent. Changan is using their huge industrial scale to deliver this aesthetic engineering and flexible powertrains like the REEV, and they're completely redefining what an entry-level premium car can be.
It feels like they haven't just joined the race. They're trying to move the finish line. Whether you're a city driver who wants that smart cockpit or an adventurer who needs that 1,000-kilometer range, it feels like this car is designed to fit your life without forcing a compromise.
And without the massive price tag. It's a really compelling package.
It certainly is. Now, before we sign off, there's something specific we wanted to do today. We just want to say a huge thank you to you, our listener.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for spending this time with us to unpack this article. We know these technical deep dives can get a little dense sometimes, so we really appreciate you sticking with us.
We do. We hope we explained it all simply enough, and you can see why this is such a big deal. Keep staying curious about this automotive landscape because it is changing so fast.
See you on the next deep dive.